Dre. Good morning. And I'm just wondering, how have you kind of individually approached your role the last couple games without Io there?
It's been hard, obviously. As a freshman, having to step up, it's not an easy thing to do, especially in the best conference in the country. But I've always been a guy that likes challenges, and that's what I came here for. That's why I left Puerto Rico. I wanted a better challenge. I wanted to continue to get better, continue to improve, and I'm all for it. I'm all in for the challenges, and that kind of challenge in specific. It's been really good because it's preparing me for what potentially could happen in March Madness, Big Ten tournament. You never know what could happen, but I love it. I love it, and I'm gonna continue to embrace and continue to get better because we're man down. So we just we was man down in those games, and we knew it, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you have to pick up your brother, and that's what what I've been doing, what everybody's been doing. So just gonna continue to embrace that role and try and get better every day.
And this is the most minutes, points, rebounds you've had in a couple games in quite a while. What's this do for you personally going into
Um,
this year?
yeah, it does a lot. Obviously, um, excuse me. Um, it brings more confidence. Not that I wasn't confident, but a lot of people think I can't do it, I can't shoot or whatever. But it's not about that. It's just I'm a guy that will do whatever it takes to win, and having guys like Ayo, having guys like Trent, Adam, Kofi, those are guys that are very elite at scoring the ball, and sometimes you know yes, sometimes I need to shoot it because that force either a turnover or something, and I'm very aware of that. But like I've been saying, I'm here to improve and continue to get better. So that's what it's all about. Just learn from it, and try and just not do it the next game.
Thanks, Andrew.
So
Hey, Andre, you guys have just thrived on a big stage this year and coming up this week. Maybe the biggest that you guys have had all regular season. What does this matchup coming up with Michigan do for you guys, and how are you looking forward to this one?
I'm looking forward to that game a lot. I'm very excited. You know, like I said before, I'm all in for the challenge, and it's definitely going to be a great challenge for everybody. We've had a hell of a season so far, and we're here to improve, and that game is definitely going to be a statement game. And we just have to go into Michigan with a killer mentality. Like we've been having the past few games, and try and get the job done for sure.
And with everything that's on the line, what you guys are playing for here in the postseason, I mean, does that add a little more weight to what's already a pretty big matchup for you guys?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We like you said, like you well said, we were playing for some bigger. So it definitely, it's a bigger challenge, obviously. But we like I've been saying, we're here for it. That's what we want. Coach been saying it. Um, you know, all the last few games on the road, we're here for it. We want it. Just bring them on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Andre. You kind of struggled or didn't have your best games for a little bit of a stretch there, and then all of a sudden Io goes down. You've really put together two really key performances to help you guys get over the hump. What kind of has gone into that? And it looks like you're being a little bit more aggressive and getting back to maybe what you were doing earlier in the year a little bit.
I think it's. Let me see how can I say. So at the beginning, obviously, everybody gets to play. Everybody gets to kind of like taste the water. And as the season goes on, everybody kind of like gets their own role, and I figured like I said in the first couple of questions, I didn't really have to do as much, just because we have guys to do it. But now being being man down, like it's you know, guys have to step up, and you know, those games that you know we it stinks. That's you from all the running and stuff. Sorry about that. So just you know, guys had to step up, and you know, um, coach coach been talking with me. Coach been talking to everybody, and you know, I'm gonna always do what the game is giving me. I'm never gonna, you know, do whatever I want for the game. I'm just always gonna wait and see what the game is giving me. You know, I think perfect example was Michigan State. You know, had a rough first start, first half, but you know, I've just never seen anything like, you know, like the way they played. They were being very aggressive, you know, and I wasn't expecting that. So second half came in and, you know, started doing a little more. You know, we lost that game, but collectively, I think we you know, we had a better second half, and that's what it's all about. And personally, excuse me, that's what I'm always gonna do. Just wait for the game to come to me, and then, you know, I'll approach the game with whatever the game's gonna give me.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, you've really, in my opinion, at least taken some strides. What has gone into that, and what do you think has really helped you mature and get better on that end of the court this season?
Definitely spending a lot of time with Trent during practice. You know, whenever we get to talk during games on the bench, or even, you know, during the game, free throw, whatever, we kind of talk a lot. You know, he's a vet, so um, what better way to get better? And you know, I always like to ask questions. Coach Chin, Coach Antigua as well, because that's something I like to take pride on. I know how good of a defender I could be, and you know, I think I already am. I just sometimes, you know, I have to quit that high school mentality and know that I'm in college already, and sometimes things won't work. But you know, that's why Trent, Chin, and Tiwa are here for, to help me out with that, and you know, um, just trying to get better every day.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you.
Hey, Andre, you mentioned, stepping up to pick up Io after he went down. Did you and Adam maybe have a conversation together before that? Because both of you kind of stepped up in a big way, kind of embracing a little bit of a bigger role. I'm just wondering if you two had talked about it, if that kind of came from the coaches, maybe putting that on you, or where your kind of mindset came into those games from.
Just pure pride. I think Adam and you know, I think Adam has it more than I do. He's a kid that you don't really have to talk to him. You know, he kind of knows it already. And I think he, you know, obviously coaches were preaching about it. Hey, like, you know, guys have to step up and all that. But, you know, nobody had to tell him or had to tell me, hey, like, you got to do this, you got to do that. We just kind of knew. And like I said, especially him, he's a kid that already knows it. And you know, before every game, I tell him, as soon as the national anthem is over, I go up to him, or right before he comes to the game, or whenever before tip, I tell him have a night, kid. And you know, I think so far he's done a hell of a job, stepped up big time in the last few games, being man down, and you know, like I've been saying, that's what it's all about, picking our brothers up.
And then kind of building on what you said earlier as well about, getting up for that big stage, liking that challenge, looking back at, maybe when you first committed, or earlier in the season, how does it feel knowing that, every game from here on out is going to be this big? You got 2 top 5 matchups coming up, followed by Big Ten tournament, followed by NCAA tourney.
I think it's great. And I love it. Like I've been saying, that's what I'm here for. I love the challenge. I love big stages, big teams, because I'm you know, it's a bad thing that I have, and I'm trying to I've been trying to change it, and it's, you know, to always play, you know, always bring my A game, man. You know, I don't have nothing to hide. I'm very real. Like, you know, I struggle with that. Sometimes I play down to the competition, and you know, we saw it against Michigan State. What a better example. You know, I thought I could have done the things I usually do, and you know, it wasn't working. And sometimes I just, you know, got to realize that I'm playing with the big boys, and it's the Big Ten conference. So that's something I'm working on. Always trying to bring the A game from the get go, not wait till things get bad or wait till second half or whatever. Always trying to bring the A game from the tip, and as the games go by, days go by, I'm going to continue to improve on that end. And I think I've done a better job, staying connected with Fletch. Fletch does a great job with that. He's been helping me with being man down the last few games. Him, the vets, Tyler, they've been trying to tell me that every game from now on it's a big boy game, and they're trying to challenge me and encourage me to always come in. I'm ready to go from the tip, and it's always very important that I'm mentally ready. And I think the last few games I've realized that whenever I'm mentally ready, whenever I prepare mentally before the game, I play good, and everybody plays good, and I think we've done it so far. Men down, senior night, all that, just always playing for our brothers, and I think that's the mentality I've had for the last few games, and I think it's I've done a pretty good job at coming in mentally ready, and all credit to the people around me, because without them I wouldn't be able to do it.
Thanks, Andre.
Hey, Andre, over the course of really the season, we've seen these videos of Coach Underwood sprinting into the locker room, screaming, swinging at the air. What's that like for you guys? Can you kind of take me in the locker room and what that means for you guys when you see your head coach kind of enjoying the moments like that?
Oh, it's great. Coach Underwood, I really admire him, and I really respect him a lot because he leads by example. He's always talked about stay safe with COVID and all of that, and he's always like, he's not telling us to do anything that he's not doing, if that makes sense. And just seeing him, he's a very hard coach. Everybody knows it. He's gonna get on our tails, but that at the end of the day is for the best. And having a coach that knows how to get out of that and enjoy a victory and come to the locker room and celebrate with us, I think is a great thing to have as a coach, because that not only shows that he cares about winning, that he cares about us as players, but it also showed that side of him, that he actually enjoys winning. And when we win those tough games, he gives a lot of credit to us and how we prepare. Excuse me. In the last few games, I think we've done it. We've come ready to go, and we've played our butt off. And he's been giving us a lot of credit just because of how our schedule is. We've played 4 games, 3 games in a week, barely time to rest. Everybody's exhausted, everybody's tired, but having that side of of our coach is very important, because he's the head coach, he's the head of the snake, and he's the one that's going to lead us to what we want to accomplish. So having that side of him is very important, and it's a very good thing to have as a coach. And I think everybody enjoys that from him.
Do you remember the first one that you were a part of and what you kind of thought when he came storming in like that?
To the locker room, like after victory?
Yeah.
First one, I don't really remember, but I think after, when we have those kind of wins, I think he always does the same thing. He comes in and let's go. And I just love it. Every time he does that, I'm always trying to like mock him or something, but because I just love it, and it's funny every time he comes in and let's go. So I just love it, and it's very good that he's like that. And like I said, he everybody thinks he's like that tough guy all the time, but if you saw him off the court and off the basketball practices and no basketball, he's probably one of the sweetest guys that you could ever meet.
Thanks, Andre. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Is that it?
Is there time for one more?
Yep.
Andre, your team tweeted out an image with Io and Kofi and Trent recreating a poster from 2005, and just curious.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Yo. Then, jeez, sorry.
Can't control him. Your team tweeted out a recreation of a poster that was popular in 2005 with Darren, D, and Luther, and the run to the national championship and all that. Just wondering if you have a sense of how much sense of history you have with what your team potentially could do and the meaning it has to the fan base, given how young you were the last time the team had this much buzz.
I think we have a great team. I think everybody's aware of that. I think we're loaded. We have so many, so much potential, so much talent, and I think having this kind of team, I like the team we have, and I'm very excited, for our next couple of games, especially Tuesday and Saturday. They're going to be statement games, and I'm excited to see how we go out and approach those games. And after those two games, everybody knows we have Big Ten tournament coming up. After that we have March Madness, and we're not really thinking about that as much, but we're trying to focus on Tuesday game. It's one game at a time, man. And this team is very talented, and I think we can get it done. It's just a matter of how focused we come in every day, because even though it's not time to rest a lot, but I think if we come in mentally prepared and ready to go from the get-go, I don't think there's no fatigue or tiredness that could stop us, because when we're mentally dialed in, we were very, very hard team to stop.
You're familiar at all when you came here about some of those past teams like Darren and D and Luther in 2005, or even going way back to Final Illini?
Can you repeat that again? I couldn't hear the first part of it.
Just curious, when you came here, if you knew much of the history of the program, especially that 2005 team or the Flying Illini back in '89.
Yeah, I've heard a couple things about it. Obviously, more so of the D. Will and all those guys, but don't really know much, like a lot. I just know that 2005 team was very good. They made it to the Final Four. They were very, very talented. But we're just trying to do something like that or even better. If we can make it to the Final Four, it's great. I think that personally the team we have is capable to at least Elite Eight, and there's no ceiling after that. After that, it's either national championship or nothing. So like I've been saying, we just gotta come in ready to go, and don't really live to the expectations. Just kind of worry about us and play Illinois basketball.
Hey, thanks.
I have one more, if I can just jump in real quick. Obviously, it seems like you guys have had a lot of what do you say? Sorry.
I just said this is the last one. Go ahead.
You guys have just had a lot of late game situations this season, and it seems like Underwood trusts you a lot to be out there in those final minutes, especially against Wisconsin. When Io couldn't be out there, what have you just learned from the veterans on this team about handling those situations, and how do you think your growth has been throughout the season with those?
I think it's been great. As a team, we've done, like I've been saying, hell of a job. It's been a very, very rough year, especially for us freshmen. But I think what it's all about is just continue to improve, and I think we've done that ever since we started practicing. I remember the first couple of games, couldn't guard a soul, couldn't really do much, but as a team we've connected, we've became closer with each other, and I think having each other's back and building that bond and that brotherhood, I think it's helped, not only for us freshmen but for everybody on the team. I think everybody has always room to improve, and that I personally as a player, I preach about that. There's always room to improve, and you know, being connected and staying together as brothers. I think that's what's going to get us Big Ten championship and national championship. So we just got to continue to improve. You know, focus on you know, take it game by game, practice by practice. You know, today we have practice, so just focus on today and prepare for Tuesday, and not really think ahead and about, you know, Saturday's game or Big Ten tournament games or March Madness. Just kind of take it day by day and you know, go from there and live in the moment.